What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into it, I know, trust me, I know the title's a bit crazy. The title is a bit woo-woo, but in this episode, I'm really gonna need you guys to hear me out here. Sit down, relax, and really hear me out here. In this episode, I'll be talking about this brand new NFT project which is paying passive income. So I'm a crypto novice, I'm relatively new into the space, not to speak about NFTs. In the space I'm very new. I think the first time which I heard about NFTs, like this thing of like JPEGs that are going for thousands of dollars, was back when Bored Apes were the talk of the town. I think that was about maybe 2018, 2019, if I were to guess. Definitely before COVID, That was the first time I heard of anything towards or anyone speaking about NFTs. That was cool, these JPEGs, but in my head, I couldn't get why they were going for this amount of money. I think most people out there didn't know why they were going for this amount of money, but they were. I think it was a cultural thing, a vibe thing, an art thing, I don't know. But that was the first introduction to NFTs. A couple of years I bought my first NFT, and for me, in terms of NFTs, it has to make sense. It has to make sense why I'm owning this thing. I've said on previous episodes, I'm a real estate guy, right? So for me, the biggest allure towards real estate is that passive income. Well, passive income in inverted commas. I'll tell you a story, right? So I'm into the real estate world, as I've just mentioned, and I have at the moment 2 tenants, and I can tell you this, it is not passive income. It is not passive income because firstly, you have to find the tenant, and that process you have to be very rigorous. You have to find the tenant, vet them, pre-qualify them, make sure that they will be able to pay the monthly rental that you are currently listing the property at, and then when you find the right one, you have to onboard them, do the inspection, make sure everything is perfect for them to come into the space. And once they come into the space, you have to make sure maintenance is up to scratch. Everything they expect is what they get. So, and throughout the life cycle of that tenant being there, you have to do the maintenance. You have to make sure everything is perfect. So, in a way, it is not passive, but in the way that people say it's passive, I get it. But from someone that's doing it, it's not passive. So this idea of these NFTs that I'm about to speak about, when I came across them, this idea for me, it was just, I was sold immediately. But I'll get into the project right now. So if you've never been on this channel, my name is Svia. I'm not a crypto guru, I'm not a crypto don, I'm not a crypto goat. So if you are a crypto don and you're looking for something that is quick, if you're looking to flip something quickly, this video is not for you. But if you have the patience and the time and don't want to really focus on crypto, just want to invest in something that over time will give you your returns back, this video is for you. And if you're not into NFTs, don't worry, I'll break it down in this video. So if you're ready, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Right, so hopping straight into the website, the name of these NFTs are Dinoes, right? So I've spoken about 100, I've spoken about buy, I think I have, maybe haven't. Maybe that's a future video. So I've spoken about 100 in previous videos on the returns that I've gotten on 100. This is the same developers. One thing about crypto, if you trust the developers, you have a little bit of peace of mind. If the developers have a track record of producing projects that are still standing, firstly, projects that have done well over a large period of time, so you have a sample space in terms of time frame, that is something that you can trust. So this is another project which they've recently done, these brand new NFT projects. So get into it. As you can see, main interfaces. So one thing I must touch on in terms of NFTs, and when you get into the decentralized world of crypto, in terms of the UI and UX, from someone who has never had any experience of crypto or NFTs, the interface does seem a bit cartoon-like, a bit anime-like, a bit, I'd say a bit like it's for children, for someone who hasn't had experience. But I can rest assured it is legit, right? So getting into the website, as you can see, Dinoes, just going to the description of what they are. Dinoes are a motion NFT that pays you as you hold them. They are digital world assets that increase and decrease in value just like real world assets. Each one is a one of one. So we've heard a lot about real world assets recently. Larry Fink of BlackRock has recently discussed that real world assets, in terms of tokenization of real world assets, are about to be the biggest thing which they're focusing. And if BlackRock is focusing on something, it's something to keep your mind on. So few things here. One of one. So each one of these NFTs are a one of one, so you can't replicate them, or the design of these NFTs is going to be the only design that will ever be there. And then these are motion NFTs, which you can see they are moving. Some of them are snoozing, some of them are roaring, some of them are crying. Quite cool, interesting, you know. But for me, I have to be honest, you know, I'm not in the NFT world for the art side of things. It's cool and it's pretty, but for me, for someone who's very new in the space, someone who's not very into the art side of things, I must be honest, this side is cool, but it's not what sold me on this project. So going further into what these things are. So how do you get these NFTs, right? So you must have at least 2.1 million buyers to mint this NFT. Additionally to that, you must also have 1,100,000 in your wallet, and I'll go over what these mean in dollar terms. And if you happen to mint a rare Dino BD, you can flip it into the marketplace. So if you've bought or minted one of these, you can also sell them in the future or flip it in the future for a profit, whatever you have it. So this is the part that I want you guys to really focus on, because this is the part which really sold me on this project, and it really gave me resemblance of what real estate should be, or what we think about real estate, right? So getting into it, your passive income. Enjoy the passive income and value increase that the Dino BD can provide as more people use the bias network. Cool. You'll receive income every time someone transacts in the bias network. Every time someone mints a Dino BD, and you own a piece of everything that happens and will happen in the bias ecosystem. This is very interesting, because basically what it's saying is that every time someone transacts in this network, you'll get so how I can explain it, you know, when you use your bank account, right? When you withdraw, when you transact, when you pay at a local grocery, there's certain fees that your bank charges you, and at the end of the month there's this fee. In South Africa, there's this fee that you pay towards the bank for using their bank, these fees. So what this is saying is that those fees, every time people use this network, some of those fees, you'll earn a portion of those fees, this is crazy. So every time someone mints any of these NFTs, they'll get a piece, a cut. You own a piece of everything that happens and will happen in the bias ecosystem, which is similar to the two facts which I've just spoken about. So how do you mint this, right? So this is the main minting page. It's showing you it's currently minting, or it's showing you something's currently mining. Here, it's the mining page. You'll see here it's currently loading, but you need bias and 100 DXO I've never spoken about, but maybe that's also a topic for future episodes. You'll see there's an option to burn BNB, there's an option to burn Bitcoin. Interesting. But today's episode, we're focusing on these Dino BDs. Obviously, you can see that I have no bias in this wallet, and then you can see I have 100 tokens in this wallet. But obviously, as I've mentioned, you need 2.1 million bias, and you need 100,000 in this wallet. And once you have that, this animation, or this joystick animation, will light up, and you can click it and you can mint it. I minted this a few weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago. You can see the Dino BD which I've minted is this almost albino like with these yellow spots. Let's see what it's about. So you have different levels of rarity. You have a chomp mouth, which I think is just an up and down motion. And then I have a Bitcoin heart, which is very, very rare. I have a lava collar, head, none. Some of the other Dino BDs have different headgear. And then in terms of the skin of this one, you have a polka dots, which is these yellow dots. So as you can see, very cool NFT. And then this part here is the amount of bias token that or bias units that I have generated over the past 3 weeks. This is the amount that I used to bind. So once you bind your bias to the NFT, you can't extract it out. The only time that you can get those units back is when you sell that NFT. So be careful when you are minting this. Only use the amount of bias that you're wanting to mint into that NFT, because whatever bias you have in your wallet, it will take everything. So if you have 5 million bias in your wallet, it will bind all that 5 million bias into the NFT. So just be careful with that. Mint what you want to bind to the NFT. So as you can see here, I have made 1,800 1.9 bias over the last 3 weeks. Just looking at this is where you're gonna really hear me out here, right? Looking at the price of bias today, let's just look at that. It's 0.000.6. So I'm looking at this and let's just see how much I've made over the last 3 weeks. So it's 1.6, 1.1 USD, 1.1 USD. So what I believe, right? So this is where you're gonna really need to hear me out. I believe that one day bias will get to $8. That's something I really believe in. That's why I'm invested in this project. That's why I'm invested in these NFTs. So let's just imagine, right, that these NFTs, or this project rather, in a year, in 2 years, 3 years, whenever it is, I don't know when, but I believe that it will get there eventually. So let's think about that. If it is $8, and going back to how much this NFT has generated in passive income due to how many people have interacted with the network, it's just below 2,000 bias. It's just under $2,000 generated in 3 weeks. So if you are in a country where you're using a currency which is lower than the dollar, this is a lot of money to be generating in 3 weeks passively. So for me, this is what rental income should be. It's just having someone staying in the unit and that just generating income for you. This is a similar concept to what these NFTs are doing. All you have to do is holding, and based on the amount of people who are interacting with the network, the volume in the network, you get a cut of every single transaction that happens. All you have to do is hold. For me, that's just the type of projects which I'm more inclined towards, because I'm not looking to be looking at charts, looking at data, Fibonacci. I'm not looking to do that. All I want to do is investing in projects where I will just be holding, and over time it's just growing in capital gains or is giving me a level of passive income. So for me, and I'm in South Africa at the moment, so translating this into rands, and let's say this is just under 2,000, let's say $2,000 in 3 weeks. That's about close to 40,000 rands in 3 weeks. That's enough to that's more than enough to replace your 9 to 5, and that's why I named this video 9 to 5 Killer, because this project has the opportunity or the potential to do that for you. And for me, this is worth the investment in terms of the opportunity, but because looking at other alternatives out there, right, there's not a lot of safe projects in terms of NFTs and crypto out there. There's not a lot of projects out there which have the potential, right? I'm speaking about the potential. For me, this potential is worth the investment today to see this project out to what it can do into the future. And this is what passive income, when I think of passive income, this is what I mean. So if you want to check this out, go to the website, do your own research. So just putting everything together, this is such an exciting project where we have this real passive income tool here, because when you think about passive income, this is actually what you're thinking about. It's a project or an investment where you have to do nothing. All you have to do is hold that investment tool, and it's just printing money for you. So it's yet to be seen what this project becomes, but it's the opportunity. For me, it's worthwhile. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, smash that like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.